Hey Demetrius, first let me commend you for working on Monday's homework Friday night at 10:30 at night. Good job staying ahead. A whole bunch of people aren't, and that's fantastic that you are. I want to make sure that you know where the resources are just in case you haven't spotted this, and then I'll go ahead and do the problem. So, lecture notes right there. It looked like you missed the problem before this one as well, and I'll go through that with you too, which was kind of similar to this one. And I think the one we're looking at is kind of similar to this one. I think one thing that was getting you on both of those is this thing right here in the notes, which is when you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number, you always have to reverse the direction of the inequality. And I'll show you that when you're doing the problem, and it's a super common error. And then also, this is a really hard section, so if you're having a little bit of a rough time with it, that's pretty normal because this one's people do have a tough time with this. The other thing I wanted to point out is there is an extra video here for this question already. I'm not sure if you saw that. Cool if you did, but if not, I wanted to point out that that's there and that there's 4 more of those that you can check out if you're having troubles with any of those problems as well. Okay, so with all that, just to make sure you know that's there, now let me pop this whiteboard up over here. Just get things moved around a little bit. And this one wants inequality notation. So we have negative, oops, that didn't work very well, 2/3 x is going to be greater than or equal to -6. So with this, we want to multiply. If we have a fraction, we can do it in 2 steps, or we can do it in 1 step. I can multiply both sides by 3 to clear the fraction, and then divide both sides by -2 to finish getting the x by itself. It's a little bit more efficient to just multiply both sides by the reciprocal of the fraction. And so, since I have a -2/3 here, I'm going to multiply it by -3/2, and that's so that I'm going to get the 2 negatives will cancel out and they'll be positive, and I'll have 6/6, which will just reduce, and it makes that a plain x. And so if you have a fraction like that out in front of the variable, the reciprocal is a pretty quick and clean way to get that fraction cleaned up. So, and then the other thing is what I do on one side, I have to do on the other side, the inequality, just like equations. So all that stuff canceled. So 6/6 makes just 1x, so I'll write that as x. And then the often forgotten, when you multiply or divide by a negative, that's where you got to flip that. And then you can think of that as a 6/1 if it helps. And then we'll just multiply straight across. So 6 times 3 would give us 18. And that will be over 2. And then x is less than or equal to 9. And on this one, oops, let me scoot that back over. This one asks for inequality notation. And so that's it right there, is x is less than or equal to 9. I think on the other one, the one that was before this, number 3, I think you forgot to flip the direction of the inequality, and that maybe you had like an equals on it when there shouldn't have been an equals. But other than that, you had it right. So if you reverse the inequality and get rid of the equals, you'll have it. And then for this one, if we're going to graph this, so we'd have x is less than or equal to 9. So we'd be right here at 9. It has an equal, so we would use a solid dot, and then the less than is going to go in the negative direction. I think that's kind of what there is to look at on that one. Again, check out some of those if you haven't already. Those extra examples, is hopefully those will help out a bit. And I'll just take a quick peek. Yeah, so it was. This isn't. This is just a version. It's not yours. But I think right there, when you divided both sides for this one, it'd be dividing both sides by -3. That would flip that inequality around the other way. And then, so in this case, that would be less than -9 when you flip that. And that would look like this. Hopefully that helps. Holler if you still got questions.